50% of his passes because 4, 5, 6 of them are going to be 30-yard chunks, 27-yard chunk plays to Drake London, to Kyle Pitts, whatever it may be. So I agree with you, Rico, and I'm not making excuses for them. I'm saying why I'm nervous. I'm saying why this loss bothered me so much. And now, here, you go into it. 45, 29, 31, 24. Those are all the chunk plays Atlanta had this past week against a defense that probably is better than yours in Green Bay.
True.
So.
They lull you to sleep. You start focusing on Bijan, and somebody sneaks past you, and, the big chunk play. Yeah. But
they got to get Mosley back. Jerry Jacobs in some total I don't want to look at anymore. But I didn't understand playing passive when your corners are specialists and being a little more physical.
That is the one that really got me is what are we doing? They just found these 2 tackles, and I thought I would see better blitz packages, something to really just make Geno look uncomfortable.
Hey, in other news, the Bears blow. And Justin Fields looks cooked.
Hey, but you know what? I'd like to thank the Giants. They spotted the league 60 points and then came back and showed we are an NFL team.
I'll be honest, I didn't get a lot of joy out of it. I was just worried about my dad. It was a general wellness check. He was very upset.
It was like, they are down 60-0. Are you serious? And then all of a sudden, wait, Danny Dimes is back. Oh, yeah.
Vanilla Vic is back.
Okay, guys, they're playing a team intentionally tanking. Let's get to the caller, shall we?
Johnny,
Rico, please.
Johnny, you're on 97.1.
Hey, guys, how are you?
Hey, man.
Good, Johnny.
I tell you, the only thing that got me through this game is the fact that it was my bachelor party weekend and I didn't have the energy to care. But
oh no.
I do care, but I couldn't even get up for it or down. What was disappointing is, last week I was telling my friends I thought the Lions were done being poor, that they were done living this life, in darkness and being the SOL for the whole league, and that they would cherish this game and find a way to win no matter what, because they don't want to go back to this world. And when you look at what Coach Campbell says every week, we're a 3-phase team. Well, what about the 4th phase, coaching? They're not a 4th-phase team. We played like garbage for the most of the game with all the turnovers. We got through it all, got back in the game, and our coaching failed us. If they were remotely interested in doing things right down the stretch, even if you want to drain the clock, you don't call a timeout and dial in the perfect play to try to get another first down and still get in the end zone. They had time for that and had time to, or they drained enough clock to allow that their first theory of just not leaving anything for Seattle, but also had enough time to try to get another first down and at least get in the end zone. And when you look at the game as a total collective, I don't think they're ready to graduate yet. Jalen Carter could have been picked up. What did they see in the offseason about their defensive line last year that allowed them to take someone like Jahmyr Gibbs over Jalen Carter? You can get Gibbs for free practically in the market. Someone like him.
Yeah, Johnny, that's going to be the eternal question, though, is why Gibbs over Carter. As you said, Mike, they're going to be linked at the hip for the rest of their career.
Guys, if we're going to play this game, then let's be on the even here. No, we don't do let it play out radio.
Come on.
That's where I laugh. Respectfully. I'm not doing that. Let's put the cards on the table. They used 2 first-round picks on luxury players because they only felt like there were 16 or 17 guys with a first-round grade. They got 2 of them. Yeah. Now, I'm not telling you I will ever fully agree with it, but I'm able to get on board with it. But here's your issue. When you go out and your running back gets 7 carries for 13 yards and he catches 7 balls for 30, that's not explosive. You're wasting him. That's a stylistic thing. And then again, Jack Campbell not starting. And he plays. He's rotated in and out, but I'm still seeing a ton of Anzalone, and I'm still seeing a ton of Derek Barnes. And that part, I am not going to yell at any callers, Rico. They have a right to say, I want to see the kids more. Now, understand, You play more to kids, you see more mistakes. Again, if you want to go even further, 3 of the first 4 picks were probably luxury because Sam Laporta.
Right. But here's the thing, Mike. First-round picks in the NFL are playing. They're starters.
They have to play. I know.
Okay, they're heavy in rotation. You don't, unless it's a quarterback, you don't get to slowly matriculate them into the lineup. You see guys come in. That's why Branch, that looks like he should have been a first-round pick because he was ready to go. You don't have to sit here and worry, well, we can't give him, we gotta make sure he gets, his feet wet. No. You got to go. Once again, I don't agree with it, but looking at what Atlanta, they said, hey, Bijan's there. We're going to take him, and he's going to be a focal point of our offense. And you know that he's their guy. I don't know that. Gibbs, luxury. He's a special thing. It's a toy. It's something we break out around the holidays.
I mean, dude, he is different. But you're right. If you're not putting him, I guess the middle ground I can meet you in is this. I think he's a special player. However, if you're not putting him in a position to be special,
there it is.
Then it's a waste. When you catch 7 passes for 30 total yards, that's a, wait for it, air yards issue. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The running game is complex. You get carries and the blocking's not there. You got guys swarming you. I can't be upset. What I will say is I need more than 7 carries.
Right. And it doesn't help. And I'm not comparing because I realize we just got to wait because he'll get hurt. But then when you see what Swift did earlier in the week, you're like, wait. So we let this guy go and we picked up this guy and we're not, but like you said, we're not using him the right way.
No, the other problem is, though, and this is something I did talk about all summer, and I'm fearful of it. Why did they not add a receiver anywhere in the process? So Amon-Ra has 7 targets, catches 6 of them. He's a stud muffin, and he gutted it out through injury, right? So Josh Reynolds is your support player. He gets 6 targets and catches 5. Sam Laporta gets 6 targets, catches 5. Now, again, none of this. Each guy had one nice grab. Everything else was dink and doodle. Buddy, I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs caught all 7 targets. Do you know what his long was? Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm almost afraid
7 yards.
Okay. That's why I didn't want to ask.
You don't have any, but my point is you don't have anybody else. No. Meanwhile, look at what Seattle did to you, where Geno Smith completed passes to 10 guys. Take Jake Bobo and throw him in the garbage. He completed balls to Kenneth Walker, Charbonnet, JSN, Disley, whoever Colby Parkinson is, Noah Fant, Lockett, Metcalf. Weapons. See, we're a weapon short. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Wait.
No.
The guy who's suspended for gambling. But I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a bad person. My point was, when he got hurt in camp, I said to you, all right, we got to bring somebody in. Guys, it is a long way to when J-Mo's coming back. And if Montgomery's hurt and going to be gone a while, and I don't know that, I'm saying it just really looked bad. Mm-hmm. The point is, you're down to the sticks. You're down to Khalif Raymond having to be an every down receiver. You can't survive that way.
Nope. And you're down to the fact that, like you said, Gibbs and Laporta have to get into that lineup, and they have to be a part of this thing, or else, good luck.
Every time you target Gibbs, and it's got a target depth of 2 yards, I want to scream. Come on.
Right.
Get him in space, get him out there.
Because the play you should have targeted him on was right before the pick 6 when he was wide open out of the backfield, and I guess it was just too much pressure. Yeah.
You missed him before the half, too. I know. All right, look, I've lamented it enough.
Uplift.
You're making me sad now.
Hey,
here,
you know what? Your Giants won.
Who cares? 282,000 auto accidents in Michigan last year. Many of them end up with someone dying or being critically injured. Distracted driving, a huge problem. You know what else is? Not having life insurance so your family is covered when the unthinkable happens. National Benefit Plan shops over 70 different life insurance carriers nationwide. They guarantee you the best possible rate, and in the event of that tragic accident or devastating diagnosis, your family's going to be covered. The longer you wait, the possibility of not getting coverage increases. So don't wait. Call Mike now, 877-734-2200. That's 877-734-2200, or you simply go on the web to nbphealth.com. And remember, National Benefit Plans would like to be your health and life insurance agency for a lifetime.
This was such I don't think we overplayed how hyped this game was for fans as a season opener, coming off a victory over the defending Super Bowl champs.
The building was alive.
Standing room only. Everyone talked about how loud it was. The players, the coaches, media, everything. And I expected a good team, which I still think the Lions can be a good team, by the way, because it's only 2 games in the year. But you win this game. We all said it. You go out and win this game. And to let down the fans, including myself, because I'm a fan, I'm just like it's just so deflating that they lost this game.
It was exactly deflating. All the energy that came in from, the place was amazing yesterday. Everybody was in their seat like at least 5 minutes before kickoff, which never happens. People filter in a little bit later. Everyone was already there.
I heard they opened the doors even earlier than usual.
They did. And it was so loud before the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this place is crazy loud right now. And an 8-minute drive to start the game by Seattle just totally put a pin in it. And, the Lions, they struggled. And then finally they start, doing their thing offensively. And Goff looked fantastic. But it was deflating.
All right, this is one of the worst bump back tracks I've ever heard, and I'd appreciate it if it never got played again. Thank you. Rico, do you want to go to the people?
Doesn't make you want to do the robot?
No, it's absolutely atrocious, and it sounds like some free, non-copyrighted garbage. Awful. Get rid of this. We're above this. Come on.
All right, man.
Rico, please.
All right, Greg, you're on 97.1. I'm sorry, Doug.
Hello.
Doug. Hey, Doug.
Oh, it's okay, Rico. How are you today, gentlemen?
Good.
Well, Mike, you described it perfectly, dude. I'm just bummed. That was a game yesterday where there was so many questions. I was just pacing and, staring at the screen, wondering why Jerry Jacobs was playing so far off, why we couldn't get home to Geno. It felt like he had forever and a day back there to throw the ball. And then just the debacle at the end. I was like, why are we not being more aggressive? If you're going to live by the sword of being overly aggressive with those fourth downs, you have to die by that sword. And I felt like we had a chance there. And as far as Gibbs goes, we got to get him more utilized. We got to open up that playbook. It's time. Like you guys have said, it's no longer a luxury pick. He's there for a reason. We got it to Laporta. He had a lot of nice plays yesterday, but Gibbs is there for a reason. Let's open it up. And now with Monty out for the foreseeable future, which is very scary on top of that, Mike, as well, I agree with you 100%. We need to use him, and we need to find other targets besides Reynolds and St. Brown. But, Goff played well. There are positives, and I hate to say it's only one game, but that's a game we should have won, and it just hurts.
You're going to be begging for that game in December. Yeah. You're going to be begging for that game back.
Yeah. Because, once again, you saw what happened last year. It came down to the tiebreaker. That knocked you out. They got your seat at the table because of an early Week 2 victory here at Ford Field. And that's
right.
If it were in Seattle, maybe that's a little more acceptable. But it was home with the crowd behind you. Scheme, like everybody wanted you to win. You had the Barry statue the night before. Like everything was pointing to this was your coronation.
And the problem, again, where was Jack Campbell? Right? Everyone's going to talk about Jahmyr Gibbs. You can't let the Jack Campbell pick off the hook. Who drafts an off-ball, non-pass rushing linebacker top 20? Nobody. But we gave them carte blanche because, hey, he was one of the, 15, 18 guys that had a first-round grade. We were going to get him. Fine. He didn't play. He barely played.
Mike,
in the second – well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry. I didn't think you were done, but I'm glad you said that because I was looking at the snap count for that game. He played 32% of the snap count. You know who played more than him? Not Anzalone. Of course he did. We're not talking about him. Derek Barnes.
Yeah.
Played more
a guy who was
defensively.
set to be cut.
That's a joke.
Yeah, but okay, but again, all three levels of the defense you could cite a problem. Tell me who played well on the defensive line yesterday. Now, if you want to tell me they stood up against the run, noted. I'm talking about when Geno Smith dropped back to pass 40 times. Who played well on that D-line? Who?
I mean, Aiden did his best.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this the Tri-League?
No, it's the NFL.
It's a make-or-miss league, man.
I'm trying to find some positive spin here.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't have to. My positive spin is, thank God we're not Bears fans. There.
You know what?
Best I can offer you.
That's fair. Now that's saying
That's
a
real
lot.
positivity.
It's bar's not that high, but sure.
Have you seen some of the Week 2 film study on Justin Fields?
I have. And
Dude.
And you know what? Heard you and Boomer as I was driving down to do the show with Cookies yesterday, and you guys were breaking that down. And
Dude, geeking out.
Hey,
He's
you know
terrible.
What? Hey, love the orange jerseys and the orange helmets. So there it is.
It is a solid look. They look good losing to Baker Mayfield. They look stylish.
They did, didn't they?
They did. Take a call.
They wore their Sunday best.
It was awesome.
Dressed up to go to a church that doesn't have a roof.
Calvin, you're on 97.1.
Hey, what's up, Mike, Rico?
What's up, man?
How are you, sir?
Hey, man. Hey, I'm doing good, man. I'm up here in Seattle, and I'm a Lions fan. And, I've been up here for a while, man. And the one thing that the Lions should have knew, you stop Tyler Lockett. You don't let him hurt you. That's their go-to guy. and they want a big play, they want to win a touchdown, look who they go to.
Yeah.
Lockett is a dog. He's a red zone stud. He finds a way to get open. He makes the tough catches. He's a pro's pro. You get to a point, though. Hey, here's the other thing. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, you want to take Lockett away, right? But you also can't have a collection of tight ends catch 10 balls and kill you. The tight ends between Fant, Parkinson, and Disley caught 10 balls for about 150 yards.
I mean, up here, man, that's their guy. It's either DK or Lockett. And then the thing, too, with the Lions is like they were playing so soft off those guys. I mean, they weren't up on them tight. They were just letting them.
But here's all right. So what I'm trying to say is this: you're right with what you're saying, but the reason it went the way it went is A, if you have no pass rush, if you cannot win rushing 4, everything else will break down. But then if your linebackers can't cover a soul, that's how tight ends catch 10 balls for 150 yards. Primarily, their plan worked. DK catching 6 for 75 with a long of 18 and Lockett 8 for 59 with a long of 12. It worked. But it was just they couldn't get off the field because all 3 elements of the defense were never all in sync together. And I will always begin and end with the defensive line. Always.
Yeah, if you can't get pressure, especially, I keep repeating it, they had brand new tackles. They were begging.
Off the street.
Right.
John Jansen off the street at right tackle.
And you wouldn't have known that at all. So that's problematic.
Yeah, big time. And now James Houston's out through November. What are you going to do?
Yeah, and they were kind of fortunate last year. Not a lot of major injuries happened to this team. Now you got to see what you have depth-wise, what you're going to bring out there. But you still got to beat Atlanta. So we'll get into that later on in the week because I just don't believe in them.
All right, get ready. Here it comes, Rico. The NFL season is here. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. New customers. Tell me if you've heard this before. Raise your hand in your car as you're driving. You bet $5, you get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All customers who bet $5 get $100 off an NFL Sunday ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. FanDuel.com/ticket. Now the fun part. Copious legal. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is not withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem 1-800-270-7117. But wait, there's more. NFL Sunday ticket offer ends today. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday ticket, not YouTube TV. You're not even doing it right at this point. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Now. Redemption requires a Google account. Now. Current form of payment.
And.
Commercial use excluded.
And.
Subscription renews.
And.
Cancel anytime.
All right.
Boom. All right. I don't know what's going on with our bumper music, but you can can this one too. All right. Football today, because Lord knows our heartbreak in Detroit isn't the only thing in the NFL. David, take it away.
Let's get into some action from week 2 so far. Of course, we do have 2 Monday night games going on tonight. Let's start in Denver, though. The Broncos moved to 0-2 after losing to the Commanders. There's a stat here from Sean Payton. His teams were 72-0, including the playoffs when they had a lead that was at least 18 points or more. Well, that ended after yesterday. They had a 21-3 lead, and Russell Wilson did not play well to win that game, and he kind of blasted his quarterback after the game, saying there were a number of drives where we were late with personnel getting out of the huddle. We took a while. This has to change. So I guess it wasn't just a Nathaniel Hackett problem. It's a Russell Wilson problem.
I continue to say it. Sean Payton's going to murder Russell Wilson. And this is the second week in a row. After halftime, he turned into a pumpkin. No meaningful drives. Don't give me a Hail Mary. I don't care. I'm not religious. I'm sorry. This is a Russell Wilson problem. And I'm pretty sure Peyton is going to kill him.
Yeah, I'm on the new bandwagon, and I just think that Russell, don't let him cook. He is cooked. He's done.
Seattle knew what they were doing, Rico. They had 2
did.
chances to pay him, and they said, nah, man, nah.
Because I did think it was a Hackett. I'm like, oh, man, all right. When you get a real coach in there, and I'm not seeing any different, and I don't think – you're right. I don't think Peyton wants him there, but he's kind of stuck with him.
Let's go to the Bills-Bengals game. Yesterday, entering Sunday, Lamar Jackson had been held to 1 or no touchdown passes in 9 of his past 10 games. Well, he threw 2 touchdown passes in yesterday's game, but I think the bigger story from the game is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are now 0-2 for the second year in a row, but here's the difference this year. Joe Burrow told the reporters after the game that he tweaked his injury, his calf injury, during the game. So, yes, they're 0-2 just like last year, but with his injury, what happens to the Bengals now?
See, I think for the Bengals, they
lose?
probably should have did what the Chiefs did for Kelsey and said, we're thinking long-term, and let's just sit Burrow for the first couple of weeks. Let's really let him rest up because we don't need him for the first 2 weeks. We've won being 0-2. We need him for the playoffs. We need him for a Super Bowl run. And now if he's injured and he's out, you know what? Maybe I don't think the Bengals will be what they thought that they were going to be this year. I don't think they're going to be that threat to Kansas City if he's out for a long term.
They have the Rams.
I think the other thing, too, fellas, we can put it all on Burrow if you like. His longest completion as of the middle of the third quarter yesterday was 12 yards. For the year, 6 quarters of Joe Burrow, and the longest pass he completed was 12 yards. The other problem, they lost both safeties off that defense, including Jesse Bates, and they can't stop a soul.
So, Lions fans, you're going to get a huge dose of Bijan Robinson on Sunday. He already is second in the NFL in rushing at 180, had 172 yards of offense on Sunday alone, and he is top 5 in scrimmage yards, 255. Is he already a top 5 back, maybe the best back in the NFL?
Yes.
Yeah. This year? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I look at him and I would say he's there. You look at Christian McCaffrey, maybe Derrick Henry.
Nick Chubb?
Oh,
Hello?
yeah, Nick Chubb. No, I'm just going
You
down the
just
line.
hate him because he's on the Browns.
No.
Golly.
I was trying to think, do I put Saquon in there? But,
No, absolutely not.
So let me get to this here real quick because there's a little bit of breaking news regarding Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They've agreed to a restructured deal where he gets $210 million between 2023, which is now, and 2026. So his compensation goes up for those years. But here's the thing I want to discuss here because there's a problem with their offensive line. They're investing in him money-wise, but they're not investing in him to keep him clean or to keep him protected. Jawan Taylor, he has allowed 1 pressure in 88 pass snaps in 2 games, had 5 penalties on Sunday. 5 penalties on Sunday.
And he cheated all of week 1.
Exactly. And their other tackle has allowed 7 pressures through 2 games and 3 QB hits.
They've tried,
They
David.
gotta
They
fix
can't,
this.
but they can't get it right. They have tried. Listen, their best offensive lineman might be Creed Humphrey. They used, I think, the first pick of the second round to draft a center. He's awesome. They went out and got Joe Thuney. They've signed tackles, traded for tackle. It's a hard thing to get right.
You know what? Maybe they should just call up Pete Carroll because apparently he knows how to find 2 tackles off the street.
Just go sign 2 cardboard boxes.
Right. Those old 2020 cardboard cutouts. They still work.
They apparently still do work.
Wait, are you telling me Aiden got blocked by cardboard Karsh? Is that what we're... Oh, man.
That is amazing. Cardboard Karsh is a better blocker than Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor. So let's get into this for a quick minute because it's not looking good in New York. And I don't mean the Giants. I mean the Jets. There are already players going to social media. Sauce Gardner was going at fans because they blamed him for giving up yards and points, which he really didn't. So he has since deleted his Twitter. And then Breece Hall also went on social media referencing how he only had 4 carries, which is something he also mentioned to the media after the game, saying they asked him what the problem was, and he says, well, I only carried the ball 4 times. I think that's a problem.
Let me say this because I know where Mike's going to go with the Jets. He's probably sitting there laughing. The Jets just need to be honest with themselves and the fans and say, guys, we're looking long-term, and this is going to be a bad season. And you say it in the most politically correct way that you can because your expectations of – because everybody thought this was going to be the team. We got Aaron Rodgers. We're going to the playoffs. You're nowhere near playoffs. So get that out of your mind and just know that you're now trying to get one of the Pac-12 QBs in this upcoming draft.
And just for me, guys, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, you said it, Rico. No, I'm not laughing. I mean, it's got to be incredibly frustrating if you're Sauce or Breece or anybody in that locker room. You came in trying to play for a Super Bowl, and 4 plays into the season, it all was dashed. So, look, I've just always said I don't know why players are on social media in the first place, and I'll leave it there.
So you can delete it and let management know when you're mad at them.
Correct.
Yeah, he says he's deleted the tweet, but whatever. Everyone saw it by now. But we'll end it just like this because I need some sanity here for tonight's game. Can you please tell me that my Steelers win this game? Find a way, please. Please.
You want the truth or you want us to lie to you?
I want you to tell me the truth.
I'll tell them the truth. Let me do this. Okay. Nobody likes to have difficult conversations with David. David, here's the truth. It's really hard to win on the road in this league. It's even harder to do it in the division. It's even harder to do it on the road in the division at night. It's a back against the spot wall for a very proud Steelers organization. And if you have any hope of making the playoffs, the 53 men in that locker room are going to suit up tonight and play their A game. You have a big shot tonight. You got a big shot. But I don't know if you're going to win.
It's not going to happen.
I had hope for a minute, and then it's dashed.
I'm giving you the hope. I wouldn't sit here telling you the Browns are some mortal lock. I mean, Amari Cooper may not play tonight. I just worry about Kenny Pickett and no Deontay Johnson against a Browns defense that I've told you all summer. I think they're going to be incredible this year, and Jim Schwartz is a really good defensive coordinator. So, come on, man, have a little faith. But
I'm not a Kenny Pickett fan. I just you tried to sell him, and I was just like, David, I love you, but okay, if you say so. But sure, things and stuff.
And that is in football today.
I'd prefer to not be here right now. Welcome in. People, I thought we were done with it. I thought we were done with having to lower our expectations, but that's where I'm at. It's a beautiful day here in Detroit. It's a beautiful life. But I have to tell you, I have to lower my expectations for this team because they're not ready for it. They're not ready to deliver on what I thought they were ready to deliver on because yesterday was unforgivable. That was as rat-ass, sloppy, nonsense a performance as you're going to see. 10 days rest, coming home, a team coming to town who has no playmakers up front and has street free agents at both tackle spots. You hit the quarterback one time. This team went out and made mistakes that they just don't make. And whether it's, I got a real problem with one of the fourth downs, but that's fine. The fumble to come out of the half, to flip the game on its ear. This defense on third down, able to do nothing. Nothing. And Rico's BFF, Geno Smith, beats us again. All right, before I get back to the callers, and yes, Lions are the appetizer, the entree, they're everything. I get it. David, you told me you have, is it breaking news? Is it an update? What is it here? Oh, Jesus. Okay, what now?
All right, Mike, in the water is wet category, statement from Michigan State University. Alan Howler today released a statement saying, I, with the support of the administration and board, have provided Mel Tucker with written notice of intent to terminate his contract for cause, meaning MSU is in the process of firing Mel Tucker.
Okay, so what does that mean pre-hearing?
Great question.
Well,
I didn't mean to put you on. I didn't mean to put you on blast there, brother. I'm sorry.
Well, no, the
it was
statement
the first thing I thought of.
Also says this action does not conclude the ongoing offensive civil rights case, and the rigorous process will continue. So sounds like everything else will continue.
Basically, yeah, it sounds like even if you're found not guilty, Mel, you're not coming back.
Which, okay, so
water's wet.
Well, let me do this before we go to the calls and callers. I promise we're coming to you. But can I just take a few moments on something?
Sure.
I never expected to beat Washington. And I know Lions fans' pain is priority today, but if you're a Spartan fan and a Lion fan, my advice would be quit sports after this past weekend. But you know what really angered me? It wasn't losing. It was that Saturday on Front Street was proof of what some people said all along. And while I'm not in the business of apologizing for opinions, I want to at least acknowledge something. That even if they were wrong at the time, they ended up being right. I think Saturday proved Mel Tucker's the biggest con artist in the history of college football. Because Saturday is what 4 years of you building your program
looked like.
Was on display, and that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
It was a quarterback who should probably be playing at Central because he's tiny. It was a MAC-level O-line with $1 million O-line coach. It's no receivers I care about. It's a defense. You have a couple of grifters as coordinators. Jay Johnson's a bum, and Scotty Hazelton, I have an idea. Let me take the same game plan I had last year when Michael Penix murdered me, and let's run it back, y'all. We got a defensive line that can't rush the passer. We got linebackers who are instructed not to reroute receivers in zone coverage and just let it roll. And we got a collection of guys on the back end who still can't communicate. 4 years in, 2 top 20 paid coordinators who are straight up grifters, bad actors, con men. And what really angered me was losing is fine. But you got to put the players in a position to have a chance. Jay Johnson, I swear to God, you try to make your quarterback look like a bleep hole. No ability to just get the QB in a rhythm, get comfortable. I have an idea. Let's do a bunch of slow developing run plays with a bad O-line. And Hazelton, Rico, I'm going to tell you something. Scotty Hazelton hit the Powerball of coaching because he has now had 3 straight secondaries that rank outside the top 100 in America, and he's still employed. There are no schematic changes. There's no technique changes. There's nothing. Nothing. Michael Penix could have gone out there without a helmet, pads, and potentially pants and thrown for 400 yards in a half. It is Mel Tucker, honest to God, for those of you who called him the finesse king, the con man, you're right. You were right. You were right all along because you know what he built? This is what angers me. Let me really land the plane for you. This is what really angered me Saturday. What he built in 4 years was nothing. It was a complete and utter mirage. Nothing. A talentless team of players who looked like they didn't want to be there. But then again, if I was forced to run these schemes, or every time I made a play I got yanked out of the game, well, maybe I'd quit too.
You know what, Mike? You took us to church, so you deserve this.
F Mel Tucker. Shandala shikalala shela.
Mike, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm sitting there. Here's the thing. This wasn't a game where the players quit. The players were put in a bad spot. They really were looking to the sideline saying, is this all we have? You're right. Nothing changed since the last year. Michael Penix could have had 600-plus yards and 7 touchdowns if he wanted to. They took the second half off. They only scored 6 points in the second half. That was it because they were done. They were tired. They had packed up, and they were getting ready to head to their next opponent because you were not even a blip on their radar. You were so easy. You were an open practice. You were a Division III team to them. They didn't have to sweat. I mean, the fact that they ran a fake spike. I don't know why they ran that play. They should have saved it.
I'm glad they did.
But
I'm glad they did.
That play right there was like that was the utter lack of respect that, wow.
You know what? I like it, though, because some of the pinheads that run that university need to be shamed. Let it burn.
It shows
Put a baby.
Here's the beauty of it. And you know what? If you want to hear more, here's my plug. Listen to the pod that I did because I really went into depth. Because Mike, I learned you know what? You don't do a pod right after the game. You wait 24 hours so you're not emotional. Still felt the same. That showed you what a top 10 team looks like and how far away you are from that. And the most embarrassing thing is watching the highlights from the 2013 team and then looking over at this team and you're like, okay, wow, we've sunk this low in 10 years. Bottom of the chili pot.
Honestly, Tuck and his 2 coordinators, all-time grifters.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? And I'll apologize to everybody who said it was only Kenneth Walker that did that for you. You were right. You were right. It was Kenneth Walker.
They weren't right then, but they're right now.
Yeah.
So, hey, by hook or by crook, they were right. I just, that's what bummed me out. So, look, here's the deal. They could screw it up. They might get it right. I don't care. The reality is if they're not serious about this, if you're not in it to win it in college football today, you're Rutgers. Yeah. And newsflash, I don't care. Yeah. I think anybody, honest to God, if you are a ticket holder or a donor, here's my unsolicited advice to you. See what they're going to do with this hire. And if they're not serious about this and they're not going to pay top 15 money to go get a coach and they do the safe and sound and the cheap, or God help us if this idiotic, talk about grifters, BOT gets involved, do yourself a favor. Go take the money you were going to donate. Go take your family on vacation.
Mm-hmm. Or just go down to the local casino and put it all on black, and you probably get better results.
Oh, Wesley Snipes?
Yeah. Mike.
Always bet on black.
I mean, because it's funny you say top 15. With the playoffs expanding to 12 teams making it, if you're in the top 15, it means you're always in the running every year. You may not make the playoffs, but at least you give your fans something to look forward to. if you're not, and the best you want to do is 8-4, do yourself a favor and you know what? Go leave and go join a Group of 5 conference because
but that's the whole thing. You know what? Hey, media market beard. The only people who benefit from these TV deals, it's not the fans, not the donors, it's the schools. And it's not even the players. The players don't see that money. You can't pay them. Okay, the school's got the money. Make a decision whether you want to be all in or all out. Once you make that decision, then I'll let you know if I still care.
right.
Because I'll tell you right now, I am as done as dinner.
Yeah, because if you're sitting up there waiting on Ishbia or St. Andre, you got Big Ten money coming in, guaranteed every year. You got enough to pay the coach. Now, I don't know what you do with that money, but that's not my concern. You need to go lock up a top coach who can walk in the door and fix this thing instantly. Don't give me the whole give you 3-4 years. Hey, this ain't 2010 anymore. This is 2023 where if you get the right person, because if you do, Mike, donors, boosters, everybody shows up and says, take my money. Please, take whatever you want.
Right. They won't get it right. You know they won't get it right. I'm just done. Let me see the list of people they might interview. Oh, maybe they'll hire another grift, these search committees. Here, pay me.
Right.
I'll be your search committee. What committee recommended this guy?
Butch Jones, online too.
Oh, go to hell. Will you please? Hey, by the way, got more good news for Spartans. Iowa's now a night game.
Yep, 7:30 kickoff on NBC.
Michigan 100, State 3. And I don't even care anymore. I'm right back to 06. I'm opening the Spite store.
Yeah. I mean,
these scones are dry. I hope the team loses by 1,000 at this point because the people at that school need to wake the F up. I feel bad for the kids.
I think we all saw the Washington thing, Mike. I think the anger and the angst will come. It's homecoming. It's Maryland. And if Maryland does what Washington just did with Tulea Tagovailoa, I think everybody's going to be checked out saying when's Midnight Madness.
Is it possible for an interim coach to fire a coordinator, or is that considered
Somebody asked me that question, and you know what? I think it's one where he can, but he would have to run it past Allen because he's the athletic director.
I want you to run this up the ladder. Run this up the ladder for me right now. David, tell me if he's holding his phone. Run this up the ladder. Type this into your phone right now under Big Daddy Howler. I know that's how it's entered in your phone. I want you to write the following. Allen, Booby, Baby, launch Scotty Hazelton into space now.
See, that's
now.
That's not the one that I would put launch into space.
Then get rid of whoever. Then duct tape him to whoever you want to launch.
Okay, because Mike, plan A, we're going to try to run the ball, control the clock. And when plan A doesn't work, plan B is, okay, we're in a shootout with Michael Penix. Michael Penix has had 1,400 yards and 13 touchdowns in his career against Michigan State. He's pretty good, okay? Those are real numbers. I'm not making them up or exaggerating. You're down 28-0, and you're still trying to run the ball up the middle. And it's like, are you not even trying anymore?
Listen, how about this? Here's what we do.
Yeah.
You take Jay Johnson's face and you put it on a Velcro, and you put Hazelton's face, and we attach it to a wheel. Spin the wheel, and wherever it lands, just fire that person. I don't even care anymore. I don't even care.
Yeah.
Have David, take a straw poll. I don't care. Have Alan Haller go to Twitter. Just start firing people. Have Ernie the Can Man be the DC. Have that idiot dressed as a Spartan standing in the top row of the stadium calling the plays.
Oh,
I feel for the kids. I do.
I did.
Ultimately, whatever.
They looked as if they were waiting for some guidance, and the guidance never came. They did not quit. I will say that. They played.
I mean, some of the tackling looked otherwise, but okay.
Well, I mean, that was a top 10 team, and once again, you saw that you were far from a top 10. Washington made you look like Richmond. That's what
Does
happened.
Mel Tucker go down second only to Muddy Waters?
No, I think Bobby's up there too, and John L.
Yeah, but John L. had an elite offense, and you understand what he was doing.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, worst defensive coordinator, Chris Smeland or Scotty Hazelton? Here's an idea. Put them both in a kayak and drill a hole in it.
How about Scotty Smealing?
Wow. Maybe Chris Smealand's hiding in Scotty's beard like a tick. So there's your 7 minutes of MSU today because it's all about the Lions. But David baited me into it.
What? I baited you in it. I do.
You did it because Rico hit the Holy Ghost drop. Now, I know what you did here. There was no reason for this updated news. We could have just kept talking Lions.
Well, no, it was breaking at the time. So, we want our listeners to know everything that's going on.
You just hate to see it.
Oh, I mean, David, ultimately, you've worked with me long enough. I don't care. Say whatever you're going to say. Burn it to the ground at this point. I don't care. Yeah, I'm just making a point. If this team is going to play that way, and that's the product, Tucker's an all-time con man, and I seriously would question whether I'm going to be involved with it anymore. If you're one of these donors, make your voice heard, and you better tell them, get serious about getting a real coach in here and a real NIL program. I don't want to see this Etsy store selling T-shirts. And if you're not, well, then we're taking the family to Thailand.
Mike, let's keep it timely. Oh, trust me, we got more, folks. We'll just give that to you tomorrow.
Okay. Hey, when your furnace goes out, you need reliable service. And you need it now. Kind of like State's players needed a game plan. Except theirs never came. Mastercraft Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Electrical, as you covered, 24/7. No need to call around town. Locally owned for 40 years. They back their work with a 5-year warranty. One-stop shop for AC, generator, sump pump, you name it. You say you heard it here on the show, you get 10% off any service. Visit mastercraftheating.com.
This was such I don't think we overplayed how hyped this game was for fans as a season opener coming off a victory over the defending Super Bowl champs.
The building was alive.
Standing room only. Everyone talked about how loud it was, the players, the coaches, media, everything, and I expected a good team, which I still think the Lions can be a good team, by the way, because it's only 2 games in the year, but you win this game. We all said it. You go out and win this game. And to let down the fans, including myself, because I'm a fan, I'm just like it's just so deflating that they lost this game.
It was exactly deflating. All the energy that came in from, the place was amazing yesterday. Everybody was in their seat like at least 5 minutes before kickoff, which never happens. People filter in a little bit later. Everyone was already there.
I heard they opened the doors even earlier than usual.
They did. And it was so loud before the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this place is crazy loud right now. And an 8-minute drive to start the game by Seattle just totally put a pin in it. And, the Lions, they struggled. And then finally they start, doing their thing offensively, and Goff looked fantastic. But it was deflating.
All right, straight to the people. Apologies for the detour, but David and Rico baited me into that one because they're both bad people. Rico, to the phones.
Mike, that hurt me just as much as it hurt you.
No, it didn't. You took pleasure in that. It's okay.
Please.
I did not.
I did. You know what? You showed how great of a friend you were when you called me like, hey, buddy, you okay?
Dude, when it was going straight to voicemail, I'm going, he's either dead, like he got hit by a car or a deer was on the road, or he just doesn't want to speak to anyone. I'm like, I got to talk to this guy.
No. It was all good. I was just I got horrible service when I'm in the press conference. So
gotcha.
We're good. All right, ready to phone? Let's go back to the phone lines. We got Eric. You're on 97.1.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
What's going on, E?
What's up, E?
I am the exact opposite of the last caller. So I am a Seattle fan living in Detroit. And, I know everybody in this city absolutely loves Dan Campbell, but I think you got to hold his feet to the fire on this one. I get he's aggressive. I understand that, but there's a line between aggressive and stupidity, and I feel like he constantly totes that line. Now, the first fourth down he went for, I think it was like a mid-40-yard field goal in the first quarter. Does that sound about right?
First quarter, it was second quarter, 4th and 4 on the 30 on Seattle's 31. It's a 7-7 game, and they go for it. I personally take the points there.
Exactly. You're on the road. Seattle's offense, yeah, I know they ended up putting up points, but that point in the game, you got to take the points. All right, whatever, he went for it. Second time he went for it, played out. They went down the field and scored. When he went for it on fourth down at the 50 with the lead, what are you doing?
Oh, it's worse than that. It was his own 45-yard line. It was not 4th and inches, so it's 4th and 2.
Right.
And you're up 21-17. That one there, it's not a preference. To me, it's law. If it's 4th and inches and you run the muddle huddle deal that the Eagles run, little QB sneak, I'll have to live with it. It's where the game is. But I'm with you, Eric. 4th and 2 at your own 45 up 21-17. No way.
Yeah, even if it's 4th and 1, then you can still do the whole quarterback push thing. But yeah, you got to come up with better plays. And this is where, this is why you drafted Jahmyr Gibbs for plays like this. Show me something special that you've worked on all week or all summer long.
Yeah, right. I don't need a pass to Josh Reynolds. Like, the idea would be you have some motion or for instance, I don't know if anybody watched the game last night, but what Mike McDaniel does, and Rico, you're well aware of it because he was with Frisco for so long. Pre-snap, some of the motion, or better yet, they get set, and at the last moment, the slot receiver is sprinting to the sideline, which forces a late adjustment. New England was just never able to catch up, so to speak. And what it did was allow to it allows the receivers free release. B, it messes up the scheme, and you're able to create space. Well, okay, if we're going to run this stuff, the only time they did it where you go, that's a tricky little deal, was the Amon-Ra fourth down by the goal line. But I'm just making a point. I'm with Rico here, guys. Even if it's old school and you're just going to have Jahmyr Gibbs in the backfield and run an angle route, the idea is, at best, he's going to be matched up with a safety. And worst case scenario for the defense, a linebacker stuck on Gibbs, and I'm going to run a little angle. And he's going to shake him, and I got to complete the ball. But, Josh, right? I don't need it.
Or, you know what? Everybody, you get all, 9 or 10 people going after Gibbs, and that's when you can hit Laporta for the first down, or you do a rollout, something. But you have to make Gibbs a threat that now the entire defense is looking to see where this man is at, and we're going to have to adjust to him.
Correct. Now, the third quarter one, guys, here's the thing. I'm trying. I'm not getting crazy upset. I know we got to live with Campbell going for it on fourth down. But on my own end of the field, and it's not 4th and inches, and I'm up 21-17. Now, had he taken the points, maybe, where it's 24-17, but even then, I'm not doing it. Now, if you want to show me your MIT degree and talk win probability, fine. Here's what I'll tell you. Some of the decisions they're making on 3rd and 4th and short, the concepts are faulty. Why are we asking tight ends whose strength is not to block on this roster, and we're asking them to motion into the formation and kick out a D lineman? That's the play? Yeah. Gronk in his prime. All right, I'll ask you. Hell, George Kittle, I'll ask you. But gee whiz, I don't know. Guys, I don't know. We're going to celebrate when he gets it on 4th, and we're going to kill him when he doesn't. Difficult for me.
It is. I like the aggressiveness. You have to be better. You got to pick and choose. Going for it early in the game, I'm okay because you have time to fix it. Going for it later, okay, you're pigeonholing yourself. But I can live with all of that, Mike. It was the final minute and a half where I have no idea with all your timeouts. Were you even thinking about scoring a touchdown and just having a walk-off touchdown and winning the game? Did that remotely cross your mind? Did somebody in the headset says, hey, coach, how about running the old touchdown play? Because it was let's just drag our feet.
Rico's referring to, let's just give you numbers, okay? 57 seconds left. It's first down, 3 timeouts. You didn't call your first timeout until there were 26 seconds left in the half. What? Yeah. It's what? What are you, nuts? You run the Khalif Raymond play, minute 06. So there's 57 seconds left when that play's over, and you are now sitting at the Seattle 27. You don't call a timeout until after you threw a ridiculous 4-yard pass to Gibbs, 26 seconds to go. Mm-hmm. Guys, and everyone knows this team will play for Dan Campbell. We all know this. But until or unless the clock management stuff stops, this is the stuff that scares me.
It is. And Mike, I'm really starting to believe that it may be more difficult than the average layperson believes because it's not a Dan Campbell thing. You see it across colleges and professional ranks where you're sitting there saying, well, what are you doing? And the coaches are just like, well, we tried to run this. No, you didn't. You didn't even attempt to go to the end zone.
Then you know what? Hire a friend. All right. Listen, Northville Lumber, oldest company in the state, largest Trex decking outlet in the country. Nobody stocks more. Nobody sells more. It's Northville Lumber. They move enough Trex decking to cover 26 football fields. How do you do such things? Well, it's easy when everything's in stock all the time. It's in their warehouse. Yes, it is, Rico. It's in their warehouse. The point I'm making is there's no rush orders. There's no supply chain wah-wah. None of it. It's all there. All you need to do to take advantage, go to Northville Lumber today. They'll introduce you to a Trex certified pro. So call Northville Lumber today or go to northvillelumber.com. That's northvillelumber.com. I'd prefer to not be here right now. Welcome in. People, I thought we were done with it. I thought we were done with having to lower our expectations, but that's where I'm at. It's a beautiful day here in Detroit. It's a beautiful life. But I have to tell you, I have to lower my expectations for this team because they're not ready for it. They're not ready to deliver on what I thought they were ready to deliver on because yesterday was unforgivable. That was as rat-ass, sloppy, nonsense a performance as you're going to see. 10 days rest, coming home, a team coming to town who has no playmakers up front and has street free agents at both tackle spots. You hit the quarterback one time. This team went out and made mistakes that they just don't make. And whether it's, I got a real problem with one of the fourth downs, but that's fine. The fumble to come out of the half, to flip the game on its ear. This defense on third down, able to do nothing. Nothing. And Rico's BFF, Geno Smith, beats us again. All right, quickly, David on Ticket Text, back to the callers. And again, you can play this a multitude of ways. Rico with the question of the day, and I can't argue it. Did it change your expectations for this team? What went down yesterday? I think a combination of the performance, a little bit of coaching malpractice towards the end of the game, and injuries, it has given me pause, and that sucks. The other angle is simple. What is the most egregious thing yesterday? Was it Campbell? I mean, the whole playing for the tie at the end in the face of the hyper-aggression, were the fourth downs an issue for you? How about the idea we're going to target Jahmyr Gibbs 10 times for a total of 10 yards? How the hell do you have Jahmyr Gibbs and 7 catches? His long was 7 yards. Listen, I'm not telling you it's a game of Madden. I'm not telling you we can just turn him into Alvin Kamara overnight. But for Christ's sakes, I'm watching what Atlanta's doing with Bijan. Ben Johnson, you're my guy, but you got to do better than this. The biggest issue to me, and I have a huge concern is, and it was a concern all summer long, they don't have any receivers outside Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they didn't address it. They didn't add anybody. J-Mo's a million miles away. And now, you saw what happened, Rico. Amon-Ra's a warrior, but he was banged up.
Yeah.
And without him, what do they got?
Reynolds.
Like I said. You may as well just yell Hazleton into the sky.
Not that bad.
David, some ticket text, and then we'll go to the people.
The part that confuses me is that the most egregious decisions seem to be rooted in fear. Fear of turning the ball over and blowing the game at the end of regulation. fear that the defense can't stop or make a stop.
Wait, hold on. Pastor religion here. Wait a minute. So you're scared towards the end playing for the tie, but you have no fear going for it on 4th and a long 2, your own side of the field, up 21-17. Does not compute.
No, it doesn't make sense.
Johnny 5 alive. What, are you kidding me?
That game was begging Aiden to take over, and for some reason, he couldn't get home against 2 backup tackles. That is alarming as a Lions fan.
And I understand he got held on the last play of the game. Noted, but the way your D played, it wasn't going to matter because Geno would have just dinked and doodled and dawdled and scored anyways.
Yeah, didn't they say what the feet were tangled up? I guess that's the explanation they gave to Dan Campbell.
Yeah, here's my explanation. They effed you. There's my explanation.
You know what? In all fairness, and I know Lions fans don't want to hear it, when Geno threw the ball out of bounds and they called the penalty.
Intentional grounding.
That was a gift.
Yeah, that wasn't a penalty.
It was a gift.
And I'm speaking to the world here. Could you leave me alone here? That was funny.
I enjoyed that. I'm speaking to America, I believe is what he said. But either way, I don't care. It was great.
I love Coach Dan. I still have faith in him and mostly have learned to appreciate the go-for-it attitude on 4th downs. But that loss was very tough, and sometimes you got to just take the 3 points.
Fellas, let me ask you a question. Do you guys have a major disagreement on the first 4th down? It's 7-7. Just take 3. Take it, put it in your pocket. Right. It's like a snack for later. Just take the points early.
I'm with you, but when you go for it, is that the one he went for it and they actually scored a touchdown later in the drive?
No.
They failed.
No.
Okay, you're right. They failed that one. But, Mike, that's because, yes, you take the 3, but you don't have faith in your field goal kicker, which if that's the case, then he shouldn't be on the team. Because that tells me I probably should kick a field goal, but you're going to miss it, so I'd rather put my offense out there.
Okay, so then let me give you both an opportunity to call me stupid. How do I reconcile a hyper-aggressive coach, but what looked to be a hyper-conservative defensive plan? You know, at a certain point, it's okay to adjust and go, we came into the game one way, and now we got to do something a little different.
Oh, boy. Yeah. No.
Is that bad on my part?
No, that's great on your part, Mike. That's what that separates the good coaches from the great coaches. Hey, that game plan in the first half didn't work. Come up with something new at halftime or you're fired. But, yeah, when you keep it's going to work, coach. It's going to work. Well, it didn't.
Scotty Hazelton? What are you doing in my car?
Guys, what you're saying is so true. And I went back to listen to Dan Campbell's press conference this morning again, just to kind of be like, I thought I heard him, but let me just make sure I heard him. Because in the press conference, he says that. He says, we had a plan, but it didn't work. Well, then when at some point in the game do you say, you know what, we got to make an adjustment to our plan?
Yeah, what's working?
What's working, and let's go with it.
You know what? This guy is injured. He's hobbled. Let's pick on him. Let's pick on this position group. Let's do something. Let's move Aiden around. Let's do something to bring pressure because they literally have 2 orange cones out there at tackle.
Yeah, let's go to a caller before I keep babbling.
All right.
Sorry.
Steve, you're on 97.1.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Hey, man.
What's up,
Hey, I've got a different take on it. I can excuse the turnovers. I can even excuse the 4th down play calling because at the end of the day, okay, all you want from your coaching staff is to put the team in a position to win. Say what you will about Campbell. They went into overtime, okay? They were at home. They had a crazy crowd. The defense was well rested because the offense was on the field the final 2 minutes of the game. So they had even when they lost the coin toss, they had to drive from their own 25-yard line, and they couldn't stop them. And the fact of the matter is, I've got a take on Dan Campbell as to why he did what he did. And I don't think it was out of fear. I think he realized that if he wasn't going to get the touchdown, he had to go for the field goal, and he wasn't going to do anything to risk messing up getting a good field goal, because the fact of the matter is, I know Rico said that, okay, you got to throw for the touchdown one time. Okay, I get that. But if you're already in field goal range, you don't want your quarterback to get sacked, because remember, they were already going on Goff. They were getting to him at that point. So you don't want to do anything that's going to mess up that field goal. Now, I know people were saying, well, why didn't he go for it then? When he went for it earlier in the game. Well, the reason why he went for it earlier in the game is because there was still time on the clock. You go for it there and you don't get it, game over. So you're at home. You've got a crazy crowd. You go, you kick the field goal. And there's no Detroit fan that's listening right now or that would understand that, hey, look, if you were given on a silver plate that game was going to go into overtime, even if you lost the coin toss and Seattle started on their own 25, most Lions fans would say, okay, I'm going to take that. Because the fact of the matter is, when you're at home, you play for the tie to go into overtime. How many times have people said on TV that when you're on the road, you play for the win?
Hold on, time out though. And I'm not upset at anything you're saying. I disagree, because you can't say on one hand our coach is hyper aggressive. 57 seconds left. It's 1st and 10. You have 3 timeouts. You are at the Seattle 38. You cannot sell me that at that point I am accepting or worried about whatever is going to happen next. Listen, I'll go to it again. Hold on. Do we have time? Yes, we do. I want to make sure we have time. So, if Jared Goff entered this game having not thrown an interception in almost 400 passes, yes, he threw an interception. That doesn't change your view of your quarterback. Now, if he had thrown 4 of them, that's different. But when I run the play with 1:06 to go, and it's Khalif Raymond, 11 yards, I'm at Seattle's 27. You got 3 timeouts. You got to call a timeout. They didn't call a timeout. They run a ridiculous 4-yard pass to Gibbs. Now there's 26 left. That's the mistake. That's the problem.
Right.
That's why you had to vaporize the last 23 seconds. You can't defend that, guys.
Right, and I'm not even saying you got to throw the ball into the end zone, but you throw the ball downfield. You have 3 timeouts. You could use the middle of the field. You could do whatever, because now Seattle is just hoping and praying to God that they could do something. Do we play man? Do we press? Do we play zone? They are scrambling, hoping you just want to settle for a field goal and we'll figure this out in overtime. And you did exactly what they wanted you to do.
Maybe he was shook. Maybe the fumble by Montgomery. Maybe the pick 6. I don't know. I don't live inside his head. I don't want to. I just know that when you're hell-bent and going for it, and it's 4th and 4 on your own end of the field, 4th and 3 on your own end of the field, up 21-17, and you're yelling, yee-haw, G-Fuel, and you're just playing a video game out here, you can't have a cutscene to play for tie.
Yeah.
Can't.
No, I agree.
And Rico, we're back again. The NFL season is here. It's time to get a great offer from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
I'll be better.
Right now, new customers, bet 5, get 200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All customers who bet $5 get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Best time to join FanDuel. The app is easy. Fast payouts, tons of ways to play. It's FanDuel.com/ticket. 21 and up, present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms. FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem 1-800-270-7117. NFL Sunday Ticket offer ends today. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
This was such I don't think we overplayed how hyped this game was for fans as a season opener, coming off a victory over the defending Super Bowl champs.
The building was alive.
Standing room only. Everyone talked about how loud it was. The players, the coaches, media, everything. And I expected a good team, which I still think the Lions can be a good team, by the way, because it's only 2 games in the year. But you win this game. We all said it. You go out and win this game. And to let down the fans, including myself, because I'm a fan, I'm just like it's just so deflating that they lost this game.
It was exactly deflating. All the energy that came in from, the place was amazing yesterday. Everybody was in their seat like at least 5 minutes before kickoff, which never happens. People filter in a little bit later. Everyone was already there.
I heard they opened the doors even earlier than usual.
They did. And it was so loud before the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this place is crazy loud right now. And an 8-minute drive to start the game by Seattle just totally put a pin in it. And, the Lions, they struggled. And then finally they start, doing their thing offensively. And Goff looked fantastic. But it was deflating.
Let's get to the people. We'll reset everything. Top of the hour. Little breaking news. I know it's a big second place to the Leos. MSU is alerted the head idiot in charge, Tuck Going. So see you later. They have informed him of their intent to terminate. What it all means, I don't know. I don't care. The whole thing, it's an embarrassment. Just let the season end and get me someone new. Thanks.
Yeah. It just means that he's not coming back no matter what happens in the into the investigation, that they're going to let him go because of cause. I thought you were going to tell me the news. Looks like Saquon's going to miss 2-3 weeks. So
I don't care. The Giants suck. Next.
Okay. Who you got this week?
Don't make me say something regrettable. Take a call. Otherwise, this will be worse than when David said, "Hey, hello to my family listening in the car." Stony drop.
Jared, you're on 97.1.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, man.
So it's real simple. We got to make an executive decision here. Watching that game yesterday was like watching a kid get a new Madden game. The players are there, they're in position, but the play calling is terrible. For example, if you look at just the stunts that we were running, I've seen Cass Tech run a better defense than our professional Lions. And so with that being said, I think we need to maybe explore options on new defensive line coaches, maybe possibilities
you can't do that in the season now. Hold on. I have no problem if that's how you feel. But we're just starting the year. So those are off the table. Now, if you want to tell me the game plan's faulty, no problem. I thought they were way too passive. But come on, we can't get ridiculous here. We're in week 2 and we're talking about going to the DVD bin.
But you can't say week 2 because it's been for 3 years. I'm a season ticket holder, and I've been getting Lions blood on my body every time I go down there. and we keep losing, like the games that count. For example, Thanksgiving last year, Josh Allen throws a pass to Diggs. Like, you got a game plan for that for the end.
No. You lost that game because your head coach failed to manage the clock at the end of the half and the end of the game, which is what my issue yesterday. I thought he had some late game issues. Look, if you want to do the growing narrative on something, this is Dan Campbell's 3rd year as head coach. And I understand when he took it over, this is a tough stat. And last year, less tough. This year, no excuse. The totality will speak. He is 2-15 as head coach of this team in September and October. So
that's sobering.
Best not lose to Atlanta.
No.
Like, you cannot drop 2 NFC home games back to back after beating the Chiefs in Kansas City. So I'm tabling any overreaction. I'm bummed out. I'm disappointed. I am stepping back from the whole this team could be a threat in the NFC thing. The injuries scare me. And, yeah, Houston being out till November, I'm sorry, the D-line has been wholly underwhelming to me in sum total. Yeah, it's a concern.
Yeah, you really wanted to see them upgrade the wide receiver room and get some help for Aiden on the defensive line. They didn't do either. And now you cross your fingers and hope that, you know what, everybody will stay healthy, and that's not happening now. And now you got to recover from this. For the wide receiver room, you're going to have to make Jahmyr Gibbs and Laporta, they're going to have to go out there and show why you took them so early in the draft. Plain and simple.
Well, and sir, if I may enter into discussion.
Yes.
Just throwing this out there. Jack Campbell on line 2. Are you going to play?
Well.
No. Well, me. He was a first-round pick. Okay, then. Listen, linebackers had a horrible day yesterday. A horrendous day, because when Seattle's tight ends catch 10 balls for 140 yards, looking at you, linebacking crew.
Yeah, especially because, you know, how Campbell played in Kansas City. I wasn't a big fan of him coming from Iowa. I didn't think that the Iowa style of linebacker plays well in the NFL. You just don't, unless you're playing a bunch of running teams. But then I'm like watching Kansas City in the pass breakup. Okay, maybe I was wrong. I'm not feeling that way anymore. Like maybe this one, you were feeling yourself when you did this pick.
To the phones.
All right, I'm sorry.
To the
Don't mean to depress.
No, you're fine. Let's just get to the people.
Nick, you're on 97.1.
That last dumb man. Yeah, I mean. The Jack Campbell and the Scotty Hazelton. Who was the other guy you were comparing him to? What was the other defensive coordinator?
Oh, Chris Smealand.
Put them both in a kayak and sink the dang thing. Oh, but Mike, I needed that today because, like, that Sunday game, I mean, my gripes with this team, it begins and ends with not only, like, the coaching decisions, not just Dan Campbell, but, like, the underutilization of Jack Campbell, the incorrect utilization, rather, of Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, you take a guy like that. I was against taking him in the first round over Carter, but I'm like, okay, well, maybe they use him every down. That has not been happening so far. So, you know, and again, like you've been saying, they're just using him on these, like, little dink and dunk routes, like 2-yard pass, 3-yard pass, and it seems like, you know, not using him correctly. And, you know,
well, look, if you don't trust him to pass protect, hold on one second. Here's the key. If you don't trust him to pass protect, that's one thing. But that means the defense has to account for him, and he's one-on-one in space. You got to make somebody miss. But my point is you've got to begin using him almost in a Tyreek Hill type role, moving him around, getting him out wide, playing him with Montgomery. And I don't want to hear this report during the game, oh, we're working on it. You had all off season to create that package.
Week 3, like, we got to see, like, you take him this early, you got to see something.
Yes.
But the more concerning thing, like, I'm going to be totally transparent with you here. I hate Dan Campbell. I hate his, like, you know, little soundbite routine with the biting the kneecaps, how he cried after a meaningless loss in a regular season game. You know, I don't need to hear that. But the thing, like, he's like a cheerleader for these players. I get it. Maybe I don't know. But the thing that just I cannot get over with this guy, it's like these late game these decisions that he makes, these, you know, the not choosing, you know, you want to go for it the first 2 times earlier in the game on 4th down, that's fine. I had no problem with that. But the 4th down and 2, not only was the play you telegraphed not the play you should have ran, but it's 4th and 2 from your 40. You're winning the dang game, and you still did it. You instead of punt the ball, punt is your best weapon, pin them. Doesn't do it. You turn, you know, outside of the turnover that you had, the 15, you know, the over at the start of the half, you know, the pick 6 by Goff. But then even after all that, even after all the mistakes you had, the end of the game, I've never seen anything like that where he, you know, he got a minute 44. He, like, it's almost like all game long he's been, like, handing out the sundaes. You know, he got the sprinkles, the bananas, the, you know, the chocolate ice cream. And at the end of the game, he just decided, now here's tapioca pudding. We're we're just going to turtle and kick the field goal. I'm just like, what? You leave it up to a 50-50 on a coin toss? What are you worried about? Seattle? Like, you're going to be up by 4 with, like, who knows how much time left? You're telling me your defense can't stop Seattle from going down the field and scoring a touchdown? Then you deserve to lose that game. I mean, he's killing me, Mike. Like, at this point,
I know.
with 2 minutes to go, just unplug his headset, I feel like. Just turn him into Brady Hoke. I can't take it anymore.
Wow.
Nick?
I can't. He just
No,
kills
Nick,
me,
you're
man.
not
Like,
Nick, you're not wrong, because here's the deal. I don't have to love a coach to respect him. And I'm working my way where, look, they play for this guy. But why do we end up back here with questionable decision making? And even if I work my way to the fourth down stuff in the name of analytics and win probability, etc., I still am left wanting that late game decision, 57 seconds to go, and I run this Khalif Raymond end around for 11 yards, and I got 1st and 10 at Seattle's 27-yard line. Clock moving. You got to use a timeout there. I don't want to hear about being worried about what the other team does or not. Yeah, you want to burn the clock a little bit, but you're not close enough. I used the timeout there, and now I go, okay, look, I'm not taking these timeouts with me. If I use that timeout correctly, I still have time to then come back, run the ball, or do something else afterwards. But you got to try. It's frustrating, big time. That's all I can
you were
tell
just all set to kick that field goal and go to overtime and be happy.
Yeah, exactly that. Shout out Scotty Hazelton.
It's Jay Johnson on the headset calling those.
I don't give a damn. By the way, hey, here's you're getting me started again, Beard.
Wait,
here's the deal.
You brought it up.
Here's the deal. Don't sell me you're bringing Mark D'Antonio back and he's going to be the overlord and calm everything down. He didn't have a headset. He looked miserable and confused. And he didn't even run out of the tunnel with the damn team. He came out on a golf cart 10 minutes later. Oh, I know what's going to fix everything. Thunderstruck. That'll do it. Hey, Michigan State, do me a solid, will you? Stop being small-minded morons. Can you do that for me? Tully time! Oh, I know what we're bringing back. The Spartan Chariot. That'll work.
Thunderstruck. That will fix everything.
I mean, Rico, come on.
Oh, wait.
Why are they so small-minded?
And let's go back to the old Spartan walk. There it is, right there.
A collective fart noise. We'll get to your calls next. 97.1. I'd prefer to not be here right now. Welcome in. People, I thought we were done with it. I thought we were done with having to lower our expectations, but that's where I'm at. It's a beautiful day here in Detroit. It's a beautiful life. But I have to tell you, I have to lower my expectations for this team because they're not ready for it. They're not ready to deliver on what I thought they were ready to deliver on because yesterday was unforgivable. That was as rat-ass, sloppy, nonsense a performance as you're going to see. 10 days rest, coming home, a team coming to town who has no playmakers up front and has street free agents at both tackle spots. You hit the quarterback one time. This team went out and made mistakes that they just don't make. And whether it's, I got a real problem with one of the fourth downs, but that's fine. The fumble to come out of the half, to flip the game on its ear. This defense on third down, able to do nothing. Nothing. And Rico's BFF, Geno Smith. All right, Lions, the main dish. I mean, if you want to call in about the disaster that's MSU, go for it. But here's where we are. Rico's question of the day is spot on. Did yesterday's loss to Seattle make you re-examine your thoughts about the Lions? I admit it. For me, it does. I thought this team was trending to be a threat to Philly and a threat to San Francisco. And when you play the way they played yesterday and you make the mistakes they make, and your coach still hasn't learned from some of those mistakes, you can't be. And frankly, the injuries have a lot to do with this too. We got to see what Montgomery ends up as, but losing James Houston until November is critical. Why? You don't have a deep defensive line. You don't have 7 or 8 guys I'm comfortable with. And a lot of what I believed in this big season for this team had to do with a quantum leap forward by James Houston and Aiden Hutchinson. Well, yesterday, no matter who they put in there, you couldn't beat homeless people playing tackle. They went down to a shelter.
Yeah.
I mean, Seattle's left and right tackle didn't even know what day it was. And Geno Smith got hit once.
No, you're right.
With about a minute to go in the game.
Yep.
So
no, they went on 696 and said, "Can we borrow these 2 orange cones? Thanks, appreciate it. We'll bring them back."
I mean, honestly. So that's a main question. You know, what is the biggest sticking point with yesterday's game? Is it the late game playing for the tie? Is it some of the fourth down decision making? Is it the defensive game plan where it was ultra conservative, ultra scared, if we're being honest? You know, why am I looking at Sutton and Jacobs playing, Terry Fair level cushion on these guys? Oh, well, we don't want to get beat deep. And it's like, right, but Geno Smith has his scalpel out and he's gutting you. Like, here's an idea. Your tight ends can't, your linebackers can't cover these tight ends anyways. How about we dial some pressure? Like, it didn't work. In the end, the NBA, the phrase, it's a make or miss league. Stuff in the NFL, you don't get points for intent. It worked or it didn't. And when it doesn't work, you get your ass thrown into the jackpot. And yesterday, the game plan for Aaron Glenn did not work. Now, the Ben Johnson thing, here's the problem. You talk to people who watch that game live or you watch the All-22, there's some problems here where guys are open down the field and Goff isn't cutting it loose. Now, on the same front, you don't go 400 passes without throwing an interception by being willy-nilly. You have to come to an agreement here that your quarterback is going to check it down and he's going to be safe. But were there a couple opportunities? Did he miss some open guys? Yeah. I don't want to kill him on it. I like Jared Goff. I'm good with him. And he was pretty good.
He was, Mike.
But the pick six kills you. Missing Gibbs twice in big critical situations kills you.
The fumble early into the second half. Like 3 seconds into the second half.
David Montgomery. Yeah, I know. You know what?
So
it's all there.
248-539-9797. I would like to talk to Lions fan number one, and that's one Mr. Kenneth Cott. Kenneth, did this game change your expectation of this team?
Yeah, it did, and it kind of was deflating to me in a way that I was not. I was expecting this game to be closer than a lot of Lions fans did. A lot of Lions fans had written this down as a win, and I get it. I was one of the people that did, but I didn't expect it to be a blowout. What I saw, my expectations are now hopefully we win the division. I mean, how do you look that way against KC and then look that way against Seattle? You were supposed to get better from week 1 to week 2. I don't know that you got worse, but you definitely didn't get better.
Okay, so, and you know what? And I just thought about this. Maybe are people willing to admit that KC didn't have all their weapons, and maybe that's why you got the win?
Oh, shut up.
Are you saying there's an asterisk, Rico?
Just putting that out there. You know what? Let's go to the phone lines. How about we do that?
You are a mean person.
Don, you're on 97.1. Don, is Don got us on hold? I think so. David, all right.
I quit.
Yeah.
Shout out Hazleton.
All right, let's try this again. Dave, you're on 97.1.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I'm a new listener. Really enjoy your show and your expertise and your insight. I got a couple points I want to make, and I'm sorry if I'm going to be a little angry about this, but I'm really sick and tired of people saying, oh, don't worry about it. It was just a game.
I agree.
One game. Well, you know what? One game last year was Seattle. One game last year was Minnesota. One game last year was Buffalo. I picked them to win 12 games last year. And they're all winnable games. In a league of parity, you cannot lose games you're supposed to win. And I'm sick and tired of the coaches not putting the players in positions to succeed based on their talent. Everybody's ripping Jerry Jacobs today. Well, I'm telling you something. They had the same problem against Kansas City, but Kansas City let them off the hook because they dropped passes. Cam Sutton was burned on a couple of long passes he got away with in that last game. Now, I thought he played a lot better yesterday. And then the other thing I'm really ticked off about, too, is everybody and their brother knew going into the draft what our weaknesses were. And you know what? When you read the program, I don't think anybody cares if you were captain of the safety squad or part of the glee club. They want football players. Okay, they want football players. And you know what our biggest need was? Defensive line. Why didn't we take Jalen Carter? I mean, how can you tell me the kid doesn't have character? He's 20 years old. At 20 years old, everybody's a moron. So you know what? You take football players that potentially are going to be generational talents. I'm willing to take the risk. The other thing is, and I love our coach's aggressiveness, but I'm tired of – we've got to have aggressiveness with common sense. Sometimes your best play is a punt. Sometimes in a close game, and you know it's going to be a close game, take the field goal. And the other thing is, Brad Holmes has done a wonderful job infusing talent in this team, but you made if you look at that first draft, you didn't have to give up any capital, and you could have had George Pickens, and you still could have had Josh Paschal because he was projected to be a fourth-round pick. The first draft, besides Hutchinson and James Houston, who was a sixth-round pick, we're getting nothing out of it. Pascal showed flashes, but he hasn't done anything.
No, and he's always hurt.
I'm done.
No, you don't need to
He's
be sorry
hurt.
at all. Like you're spot on. And listen, I will never sit here and tell you that if I ran the draft board, I'm taking a running back at 12 and I'm taking a linebacker off ball at 19. The only thing we were left with is no one in the NFL liked this first round. You saw it by the way teams were running away from these first-round picks. Mm-hmm. Could they, should they? The Jalen Carter thing is either going to be a footnote or it's going to kill them. Mm-hmm. You got to understand who took them. And I'm not defending them. I'm giving you reasons. Believe me, I'm not in the business of defending these guys. They got to win. The Eagles are a Super Bowl team with a Super Bowl locker room, with Super Bowl players and leaders and veterans, and it's easier to bring him in there. There's something about this kid they didn't like, clearly.
You know what the Jalen Carter thing, Mike, what it reeks of is Micah Parsons. And remember, Micah Parsons came out and everybody backed away. He had some problems going on at
that was
Penn
the hazing
State.
thing,
It
wasn't
was
it?
right. It was the hazing thing. He should have been a top 3 pick, but I don't know, character issues. And he just kept sliding down. And Jerry Jones was like, nope, he's not getting past me. And now if you had to redo that draft, there's no way he's going to be drafted with the 11th pick. He's going to go because you saw, I think sometimes the GMs get in their head and they hear what everybody else is saying and they're like parrots to each other. Well, he's got problems. Well, so-and-so's not going to draft him, so maybe they know something. Maybe we should pass as well. Yeah, that's what I think Carter could end up becoming, whereas it's just one of those that everybody just kind of outthought themselves.
Giants could have taken Parsons. They traded out of the pick to take Kadarius Toney.
Are you for real?
Nope. I'm going to go step outside and see if a cartoon Acme safe lands on my head now.
You know what, Mike?
And I'll be back with everyone soon.
Thoughts and prayers.
Tots and pears. When you've been injured in an accident, whether it's auto, truck, motorcycle, or maybe a cartoon safe falls on your head, David Femininio, the guy you need to call. We've told you, when you get injured in Michigan, you get David and you get paid. He'll personally make sure you get every dime you deserve, and he doesn't take a fee until you get paid. So if you're injured or know someone who is, tell him to call David Femininio, 855-65-CRASH, or simply go to that website, getdavidgetpaid.com.
This was I don't think we overplayed how hyped this game was for fans as a season opener, coming off a victory over the defending Super Bowl champs.
The building was alive.
Standing room only. Everyone talked about how loud it was, the players, the coaches, media, everything, and I expected a good team, which I still think the Lions can be a good team, by the way, because it's only 2 games in the year, but you win this game. We all said it. You go out and win this game. And to let down the fans, including myself, because I'm a fan, it's just so deflating that they lost this game.
It was exactly deflating. All the energy that came in from, the place was amazing yesterday. Everybody was in their seat like at least 5 minutes before kickoff, which never happens. People filter in a little bit later. Everyone was already there.
I heard they opened the doors even earlier than usual.
They did. And it was so loud before the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this place is crazy loud right now. And an 8-minute drive to start the game by Seattle just totally put a pin.
All right. We all know somebody who thinks they have the best life hacks, things like opening a can with a spoon or using your wireless hotspot for internet at home. What those hotspotters don't know is there's a much better hack out there. See, Xfinity gives you 99.9 reliable internet, so you don't have to settle for using your phone for home internet. It means more gaming, streaming, and looking up other life hacks that work on your connected devices. It's time for real home internet. The next generation Xfinity 10G network, the future starts now. And now through September 21st, get 75 megabit internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $20 a month for 12 months, no annual contract. Just ask how you can get a one free line of unlimited mobile when you upgrade to a 400 megabit internet. Go to Xfinity.com/10G. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with a store bank account. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Xfinity Mobile requires Xfinity Internet. After promo, regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary.
All right, we'll get to a football today here in about 15 minutes. David, I want to check in on Ticket Text briefly, then we go back to the phones. Obviously, the Lions, I'm bummed. And, yeah, it makes me think different. If you want to know where you're at, you opened up as a 5-point favorite against Atlanta. It's already down to 3.5. And Atlanta, you can say whatever you want. You can say their quarterback sucks. You could say their defense isn't for real. They're frauds. Then great, here's the deal. You best go out and handle your business. You best go out and win this game. Yeah. Because if you don't, everything that people have ever said about your franchise becomes true. Nobody's going to care about your injuries. Everyone has them. No one's going to care about what could have been, should have been, might have been. Oh, you can't say it's DEFCON 1 in week 3. No, technically you're right. You could go and win 9 of 10. But I'm with the last caller. You're going to be begging for that game yesterday in December. And whether it's to make the playoffs, to win the division, or for seeding purposes, you're not getting that game back. And you want to be a winner, stop saying it's just one game. It's just one game are for losers. That's for kids on the playground.
Yeah, and think of it like this, Mike. That game could be the difference of you having to go out to Seattle for the playoffs or Seattle coming back.
Yep. No, I know. I know, man. Not all of us can have their team win every game like yours. What's that, 12 in a row now?
Well, you know, our quarterbacks are bums. So
yeah, Rat Purdy. Rat. What a privileged life.
No,
Carry on.
Start calling him DJ Khaled.
Yeah, he had what was it, 17 for 25 for about 190 yesterday? Go to hell with Rat Purdy.
All he does is win. Go ahead,
Go
Dave.
to hell.
All he
Damn
does
it.
is win.
Shout out Hazelton.
I'm very concerned about the Falcons game. It will be a repeat of last year's Panthers game if this defense continues to look as bad as it did yesterday.
My only solace would be they held up really nice against the run. They did. And if you could take away the run, God help you if Desmond Ridder beats you. He sucks.
Fair. Lions are 9-3 in their last 12. We will be all right.
That's fine, but yesterday they let that game get away.
Thank you, Mike and Rico. I've seen enough of Jerry Jacobs as well. We need Mosley in the lineup. Lions had the momentum on the final drive, needed to go for the win in regulation, not the field goal and the tie.
That's the most egregious thing to me of all the things yesterday. Obviously, like if you're like, well, what about the pick six? Yeah, not optimal. Not going for the win in a more aggressive manner. 57 seconds to go, 3 timeouts. I tell you what, that's the one that sticks in my craw. Yeah. Shout out Hazelton.
Rico nailed it. We have no business losing to the Dirty Birds. We lose to Atlanta. We have some serious issues the rest of the way.
Yeah, because here's the other thing, and I mean, you guys know it, but for the listeners, for those of you who go, oh my God, you couldn't possibly panic. Well, time out now. Do you know who's on the horizon for your team? Like, do you know who you're playing? Because here's what I want to tell you. Lose to Atlanta and then tell me the wins. Ready? You go short week at Green Bay. Short turn. You would lose to Atlanta and 3 days later, you got to go play in Green Bay. Then it's Carolina. Then it's at a Tampa Bay team that clearly is not awful. Back-to-back road trips at Tampa, at Baltimore. Really? No, it's absolutely get it and go. Because this is not going to be easy. And they let one get away yesterday. And at 2-0, they had a little more margin.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't get the Chargers and the Bears twice until the second half of the season. So
that might be the only positive. Thank God we're not Bears fans. Justin Fields, holy hell. Carry on.
With the sweet orange helmets.
Okay, good.
Time to start the Fire AG train.
No, we're not starting it. Stop. It's week 2. Stop firing people. Stop it. What's the matter with you people?
It's week 2, but it's not week 2
David?
for his life as a Lion defensive coordinator.
Well, wait. When did they fire Pleasant?
That was at the midway point, I believe.
Okay.
That's a position coach.
Just saying.
Different.
I'm just saying. I think the conversation.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Shout out.
I'm emotional right now, okay?
Jay, you're on the clock. All right, let's go back to the phone lines. Matt, you're on 97.1.
Hey, I want to talk about, you've already covered it with Ben Johnson in the offense, but Gibbs specifically, they clearly don't trust him in pass pro, and that's a problem. I mean, 22 out of 32 routes on snaps, that's 70%. When he was in there, you could see it in the game. It was either the Cabinda formation or the 2 tight ends. He never got to play with the 3 best wide receivers in Laporta, so just like no play action off him ever. They really seemed to key on him already after watching the film last week, and the role didn't change after the injury. So it's going to be the Reynolds show with all that stuff. The injuries are interesting too. I mean, they said it was cramps for Amon-St. Brown, but then there were people saying they saw them putting a steel toe in his shoe, and they said it was a thigh for Montgomery, but he came out and said it's going to be a couple weeks. Some of the doctors in fantasy that look at stuff and break things down on film said they're thinking it's some type of a mild knee sprain. So
the way he twisted and pirouetted
out of DTW.
Yeah, listen, I'm with you on this. And the Gibbs thing is simple. If you're going to use that type of draft capital, but there's a small detail. We can't trust him to pass pro, and he only is going to be used under these. Then what are you doing? Then what are you doing?
Right, you don't come across looking like the smartest man in the room. It looks like you had a luxury pick, and it's not looking good. Him and Carter are going to be connected. It's not to say that Gibbs can't be good, and it's not to say I'm rooting for one over the other, but Carter could help you right now. Gibbs, they're running backs. And as you saw, running backs, man, they get moved from team to team. They get passed around.
Look, if Gibbs is used correctly, he is that guy, Rico. I'm not backing off on what he is.
No, right. But
what
if they
I'm not
use
down
him like
for,
Bijan, then okay, it's worth it.
You can't. Hold on. They're different players. What I'm saying is, just because you target a guy 7-8 times, all targets aren't created equal. His longest catch was 7 yards yesterday. That's absurd. He had 7 catches for 38 yards. Like, scheme it up a little bit, boys. Come on.
Yeah, know what you got in him. And
the 7 carries for 13 yards, that's a real problem. Meaning, all right, he had a 6 or 7 yard carry if memory serves me right. That means 1 yard a carry on the rest. Now, that's an issue.
When you make it sound that way, Mike.
I'm sorry. Shout out Hazleton.
Shout out Hazleton. Eddie, you're on 97.1.
Hey, I was just calling. I don't know where are you guys getting this Kool-Aid? I don't understand the Lions up and down. Last week we're winning the Super Bowl. This week, hopefully we don't go to 1-2. I don't understand the crowning already. Like, heads up for the Bears. I know we're 0-2, but
you're horrific.
11.
Your quarterback can't complete a pass. What do you want me to say about the Bears? You've watched Justin Fields. Guys are wide open. He can't process it. He won't throw it. How about the best running quarterback in the league? He had 3 carries for 4 yards yesterday. Don't bring your problems here. In fact, get the hell off my radio show. Get out! Get out! Go back to that rat trap city you're from. Get out! Bring your problems to me. My own house is burning down.
But what about?
I don't understand the crowning. Oh, you mean what? Your fan base who had Justin Fields winning the MVP? Don't bring your problems to my doorstep.
But what about their pizza?
Casserole. Nobody said they were winning the Super Bowl, smartass. I just said they could be a threat in the NFC. They took major injuries. Their coach spaced out yesterday, and they let Geno Smith get him again, okay? This is the NFL. We're emotional. It's up, down. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. We should just sit here and go, let's see how it plays out, Cotton. Take your get out. And while you're at it, a hot dog's not a salad. Get it right.
Okay. You know what? Now you're preaching the truth. You really are.
Putting whole slices of tomato and entire pickles on there.
Can I get
Go to hell.
Get a little ranch, a little peppercorn ranch on there? Okay.
Oh, hey, I know my Bears aren't any good. You think? In other news, water's wet. Hear from you. Your quarterback's out there playing blindfolded. You're calling a Detroit show. Shout out Hazleton.
All right. You know what, Mike?
What? Tell me more.
Take him to church.
Yeah.
97-1.
All right, Hungry Howie's celebrating 50 years of flavor. That's 50 years creating pizza, not casseroles like they do in Chicago. You think if they're 50 years, they would have thought of everything, but they haven't. More new creations, and it's more creative than Justin Fields completing a pass. Bee Sting Pizza, hot honey drizzle, 2 toppings, your choice, $12.99, and away we go. Real mozz, real dough, real toppings that don't come from a can. How about that? Hungry Howie's. Mix and match deal, $6.99. Get dinner on the table in 20 minutes. The new stuff, the Bee Sting, $12.99. Limited time only in the new stuff. As always, it's pizza. Hey, you're a Michigan State fan. Best get ready to eat your feelings this fall. Better order some pizza. It's Hungry Howie's.
Stick to the script.
I'd prefer to not be here right now. Welcome.
Let's get into some action from week 2 so far. Of course, we do have 2 Monday night games going on tonight. Let's start in Denver, though. The Broncos moved to 0-2 after losing to the Commanders. There's a stat here from Sean Payton. His teams were 72-0, including the playoff when they had a lead that was at least 18 points or more. Well, that ended after yesterday. They had a 21-3 lead, and Russell Wilson did not play well to win that game, and he kind of blasted his quarterback after the game, saying there were a number of drives where we were late with personnel getting out of the huddle. We took a while. This has to change. So I guess it wasn't just a Nathaniel Hackett problem. It's a Russell Wilson problem.
I continue to say it. Sean Payton's going to murder Russell Wilson. And this is the second week in a row. After halftime, he turned into a pumpkin. No meaningful drives. Don't give me a Hail Mary. I don't care. I'm not religious. I'm sorry. This is a Russell Wilson problem. And I'm pretty sure Payton is going to kill him.
Yeah, I'm on the new bandwagon, and I just think that Russell, don't let him cook. He is cooked. He's done.
Seattle knew what they were doing, Rico. They had 2 chances to pay him, and they said, nah, man, nah.
Because I did think it was a Hackett. I'm like, oh, man, all right. When you get a real coach in there, and I'm not seeing any different, and I don't think – you're right. I don't think Payton wants him there, but he's kind of stuck with him.
Let's go to the Bills-Bengals game. Yesterday, entering Sunday, Lamar Jackson had been held to 1 or no touchdown passes in 9 of his past 10 games. Well, he threw 2 touchdown passes in yesterday's game, but I think the bigger story from the game is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are now 0-2 for the second year in a row, but here's the difference this year. Joe Burrow told the reporters after the game that he tweaked his injury, his calf injury, during the game. So, yes, they're 0-2 just like last year, but with his injury, what happens to the Bengals now?
See, I think for the Bengals, they probably should have did what the Chiefs did for Kelsey and said, we're thinking long-term, and let's just sit Burrow for the first couple of weeks. Let's really let him rest up because we don't need him for the first 2 weeks. We've won being 0-2. We need him for the playoffs. We need him for a Super Bowl run. And now if he's injured and he's out, you know what? Maybe I don't think the Bengals will be what they thought that they were going to be this year. I don't think they're going to be that threat to Kansas City if he's out for a long term.
They have the Rams.
I think the other thing, too, fellas, we can put it all on Burrow if you like. His longest completion as of the middle of the third quarter yesterday was 12 yards for the year. 6 quarters of Joe Burrow, and the longest pass he completed was 12 yards. The other problem, they lost both safeties off that defense, including Jesse Bates, and they can't stop a soul.
So, Lions fans, you're going to get a huge dose of Bijan Robinson on Sunday. He already is second in the NFL in rushing at 180, at 172 yards of offense on Sunday alone. And he is top 5 in scrimmage yards, 255. Is he already a top 5 back, maybe the best back in the NFL?
Yes.
Yeah. This year? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I look at him and I would say he's there. You look at Christian McCaffrey, maybe Derrick Henry.
Nick Chubb?
Oh, yeah, Nick Chubb. No, I'm just going down the line.
You just hate him because he's on the Browns.
No.
Golly.
I was trying to think, do I put Saquon in there? But you know.
No, absolutely not.
So let me get to this here real quick because there's a little bit of breaking news regarding Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. They've agreed to a restructured deal where he gets $210 million between 2023, which is now, and 2026. So his compensation goes up for those years. But here's the thing I want to discuss here because there's a problem with their offensive line. They're investing in him money-wise, but they're not investing in him to keep him clean or to keep him protected. Jawan Taylor, he has allowed 1 pressure and 88 pass snaps in 2 games, had 5 penalties on Sunday. 5 penalties on Sunday.
And he cheated all of week 1.
Exactly. And their other tackle has allowed 7 pressures through 2 games and 3 QB hits.
They've tried,
They
David.
gotta fix this.
But they can't get it right. They have tried. Listen, their best offensive lineman might be Creed Humphrey. They used, I think, the first pick of the second round to draft the center. He's awesome. They went out and got Joe Tooney. They've signed tackles, traded for tackle. It's a hard thing to get right.
You know what? Maybe they should just call up Pete Carroll because apparently he knows how to find 2 tackles off the street.
Just go sign 2 cardboard boxes.
Right. Those old 2020 cardboard cutouts. They still work.
They apparently still do work.
Wait, are you telling me Aiden got blocked by cardboard Karsh? Is that what we're... Oh, man.
That is amazing. Cardboard Karsh is a better blocker than Donovan Smith and Jawan Taylor. So let's get into this for a quick minute because it's not looking good in New York. And I don't mean the Giants. I mean the Jets. There are already players going to social media. Sauce Gardner was going at fans because they blamed him for giving up yards and points, which he really didn't. So he has since deleted his Twitter. And then Breece Hall also went on social media referencing how he only had 4 carries, which is something he also mentioned to the media after the game, saying they asked him what the problem was, and he says, well, I only carried the ball 4 times. I think that's a problem.
Let me say this because I know where Mike's going to go with the Jets. He's probably sitting there laughing. The Jets just need to be honest with themselves and the fans and say, guys, we're looking long-term, and this is going to be a bad season. And you say it in the most politically correct way that you can because your expectations of – because everybody thought this was going to be the team. We got Aaron Rodgers. We're going to the playoffs. You're nowhere near playoffs. So get that out of your mind and just know that you're now trying to get one of the Pac-12 QBs in this upcoming draft.
And just for me, guys. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, you said it, Rico. No, I'm not laughing. I mean, it's got to be incredibly frustrating if you're Sauce or Breece or anybody in that locker room. You came in trying to play for a Super Bowl, and 4 plays into the season, it all was dashed. So, look, I've just always said I don't know why players are on social media in the first place, and I'll leave it there.
So you can delete it and let management know when you're mad at them.
Correct.
Yeah, he says he's deleted the tweet, but whatever. Everyone saw it by now. But we'll end it just like this because I need some sanity here for tonight's game. Can you please tell me that my Steelers win this game? Find a way, please, please.
You want the truth or you want us to lie to you?
I want you to tell me the truth.
I'll tell them the truth. Let me do this. Okay. Nobody likes to have difficult conversations with David. David, here's the truth. It's really hard to win on the road in this league. It's even harder to do it in the division. It's even harder to do it on the road in the division at night. It's a back against the spot wall for a very proud Steelers organization. And if you have any hope of making the playoffs, the 53 men in that locker room are going to suit up tonight and play their A game. You have a big shot tonight. You got a big shot. But I don't know if you're going to win.
It's not going to happen.
I had hope for a minute, and then it's dashed.
I'm giving you the hope. I wouldn't sit here telling you the Browns are some mortal lock. I mean, Amari Cooper may not play tonight. I just worry about Kenny Pickett and no Deontay Johnson against a Browns defense that I've told you all summer. I think they're going to be incredible this year, and Jim Schwartz is a really good defensive coordinator. So, come on, man, have a little faith. But
I'm not a Kenny Pickett fan. I just you tried to sell him, and I was just like, David, I love you, but okay, if you say so. But sure, things and stuff.
And that is in football today. Let's get into some action from week 2. So far, of course, we do have 2 Monday night games going on tonight. Let's start in Denver, though. The Broncos moved to 0-2 after losing to the Commanders. There's a stat here from Sean Payton. His teams were 72-0, including the playoff when they had a lead that was at least 18 points or more. Well, that ended after yesterday. They had a 21-3 lead, and Russell Wilson did not play well to win that game, and he kind of blasted his quarterback after the game, saying there were a number of drives where we were late with personnel getting out of the huddle. We took a while. This has to change. So I guess it wasn't just a Nathaniel Hackett problem. It's a Russell Wilson problem.
I continue to say it. Sean Payton's going to murder Russell Wilson. And this is the second week in a row after halftime he turned into a pumpkin. No meaningful drives. Don't give me a Hail Mary. I don't care. I'm not religious. I'm sorry. This is a Russell Wilson problem. And I'm pretty sure Peyton is going to kill him.
Yeah, I'm on the new bandwagon, and I just think that Russell, don't let him cook. He is cooked. He's done.
Seattle knew what they were doing, Rico. They had 2 chances to pay him, and they said, nah, man, nah.
Because I did think it was a Hackett. I'm like, oh, man, all right. When you get a real coach in there, and I'm not seeing any different, and I don't think – you're right. I don't think Peyton wants him there, but he's kind of stuck with him.
Let's go to the Bills-Bengals game yesterday. Entering Sunday, Lamar Jackson had been held to 1 or no touchdown passes in 9 of his past 10 games. Well, he threw 2 touchdown passes in yesterday's game. But I think the bigger story from the game is the Cincinnati Bengals. They are now 0-2 for the second year in a row. But here's the difference this year. Joe Burrow told the reporters after the game that he tweaked his injury, his calf injury, during the game. So, yes, they're 0-2 just like last year. But with his injury, what happens to the Bengals now?
See, I think for the Bengals, they probably should have did what the Chiefs did for Kelsey and said, we're thinking long-term, and let's just sit Burrow for the first couple of weeks. Let's really let him rest up because we don't need him for the first 2 weeks. We've won being 0-2. We need him for the playoffs. We need him for a Super Bowl run. And now if he's injured and he's out, you know what? Maybe I don't think the Bengals will be what they thought that they were going to be this year. I don't think they're going to be that threat to Kansas City if he's out for a long term.
They have the Rams.
I think the other thing, too, fellas, we can put it all on Burrow if you like. His longest completion as of the middle of the third quarter yesterday was 12 yards for the year. 6 quarters of Joe Burrow, and the longest pass he completed was 12 yards. The other problem, they lost both safeties off that defense, including Jesse Bates, and they can't stop a soul.
So, Lions fans, you're going to get a huge dose of Bijan Robinson.
For the final time, copious legal. Here we go, baby. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook right now. New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Now, that's no bull junk, as Coach Prime says. All customers who bet $5, $100 off NFL Sunday ticket. Also, factual, true. Best offers, best sportsbook. It's all true. It's the best app in the game. FanDuel.com/ticket. It's FanDuel, the official betting partner of the NFL. Here it is, baby. The promotion ends today. 21 and up. Present Michigan. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem 1-800-270-7117. But wait, there's more. NFL Sunday ticket offer ends today. No refunds. Terms and embargoes apply. $100 off NFL Sunday ticket, not YouTube TV. YouTube TV base plan required to watch YouTube TV. Redemption requires a Google account and current form of payment. Commercial use excluded. Subscription renews. Cancel anytime.
This was I don't think we overplayed how hyped this game was for fans as a season opener, coming off a victory over the defending Super Bowl champs.
The building was alive.
Standing room only. Everyone talked about how loud it was, the players, the coaches, media, everything, and I expected a good team, which I still think the Lions can be a good team, by the way, because it's only 2 games in the year, but you win this game. We all said it. You go out and win this game. And to let down the fans, including myself, because I'm a fan, it's just so deflating that they lost this game.
It was exactly deflating. All the energy that came in from, the place was amazing yesterday. Everybody was in their seat like at least 5 minutes before kickoff, which never happens. People filter in a little bit later. Everyone was already there.
I heard they opened the doors even earlier than usual.
They did. And it was so loud before the first snap of the game. I'm like, wow, this place is crazy loud right now. And an 8-minute drive to start the game by Seattle just totally put a pin in it. And, the Lions, they struggled. And then finally they start, doing their thing offensively. And Goff looked fantastic. But it was deflating.
Drive of the week, pretty simple to me. How about Colorado trailing 28-20, 2:06 to go. CSU drops them at the 2-yard line. You got to go 98 yards in 2:06. And they do it right. Back against the wall. 36 seconds to go. They get the ball to CSU's 45. Shadur Sanders, a 45-yard touchdown pass to Jimmy Horn, as if Scotty Hazelton coached for CSU. That is your drive of the week. 7 plays, 98 yards to tie the game. Mm-hmm. Oh, and by the way, get the 2-point conversion. Yeah. Put your sunglasses on. Get your hats on.
Shout out to me for staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning, hate watching. So, yeah.
It's okay. Home Bo Nix this week, Rico. Yeah,
still don't know why you don't go for 2 in the first overtime.
I don't want to talk about. You know what? There are a lot of things we could do.
You really want them to lose, Rico?
No, because the media is turning this into something totally different, and it's just enough is enough. Mm-hmm. I've had it. By the way, here's the other thing. 4th and 2 at Colorado's 45. You're up by 8. Any thought to going for it? Dan Campbell would. I'm just throwing it out there. Instead, you punt, you pinned them, still gave up 98 yards and a touchdown.
Wow, yeah, because at that point, you went full prevent defense.
I know. Colorado, 20.5-point underdogs in Outson Stadium this week, FYI. All right, boys, what do we got? A few ticket texts and then round this puppy out?
Yep. Yeah, some ticket text here says Campbell's trying to throw the same surprise party every week. That element isn't meant to keep working. No one's surprised anymore.
I just think the concepts they're trying to run on these 4th down plays, it's leaves a lot to be desired. I understand they had no Taylor Decker. I understand it's not perfect. But you don't have Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And can we please? You drafted Sam Laporta. You drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. You got to be able to have these pet plays. I feel like a lot of these on 4th down are rushed, and they don't look right. Yeah. You know what I mean, Rico? You practice your 2-point plays. That's in the bag.
Right. You should have at least 3 or 4 of them that you're ready to go with at any given time, because you may have to do this multiple times. You can't have one, but it's all the only thing missing is just a cut shot of Ben Johnson in the dirt, just drawing up the play right there on the sideline. That's what it feels like. Like they're not ready.
Run this way, curl, whatever. Devontae from Westland.
Run to the hot dog vendor, then make a curl back.
Devontae from Westland says, I will react to the Lions if they lose to Green Bay, because that's the big game. Yesterday was nothing to me. Okay.
Yesterday should be something to you because
I don't know who you are.
You and Seattle are the same team. One's in the Midwest, one is on the West Coast. You saw what happened last year. You played them early, you lost to them, you didn't think it was that big of a deal. You went on this miraculous run, but in the end, that game in week 2 was the difference of you not making the playoffs. Now, you could make the playoffs, but once again, if you're tied with them at the end of the year, guess where the playoff game is going to be if you got to play Seattle? In Seattle.
Chase Young, 1.5 sacks, 7 pressures, 4 QB hurries. Well, wow, that would be a nice compliment to Aiden on the other side. From Jared.
I mean, I wonder how aggressive they will be now that you're starting to see some pieces falling off.
Yeah, they got to earn the right to be aggressive, though. If you want to make moves in season and play this game about week 6 and the trade deadline and all that stuff, you got to earn your right to do it. And it starts by beating Atlanta. They don't beat Atlanta, forget about it. I mean, that'll be one of the most disappointing results of recent memory for this team.
No, you're right.
Give me a break.
They don't beat Atlanta, which they should, then we could officially say Uncle Lenny's back.
I hate you.
Thank you.
I mean that out of love.
I know you.
I'm not. It's just I don't want to think want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it.
Hey, the way you were looking out for my well-being on Saturday when my phone was going straight to voicemail, David, the way it is, my phone service doesn't work well in that stadium. Other people's it does. For me, I got to walk outside the stadium to check to see. Mike kept calling me, I guess, while I was in the
I just tried like once, and then I'm like, well, an hour later, I'm like, all right, hold on. This dude would answer his phone in the middle of a hurricane, and that phone going straight to voicemail. So I go, he either like got hit by a semi or something crossing Trowbridge, or he don't want to talk to nobody.
It's a wellness check at that point, right?
Yeah, I'm like, my man, did Hazleton kill this man? What the hell happened?
I was there. I watched and looked at I saw all the Washington fans who stuck around and the family members of the MSU players as you heard Purple Rain being blasted out of the Washington locker room.
God, I'm sick to my stomach thinking about that.
Oh, that's their colors, right? Purple. Right. Oh, I see why that works. Yeah.
So when they win games, they play Purple Rain.
Purple Rain. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Well,
it's Wojie Poo.
Yeah. I guess it unofficially happened. I mean, what we knew was going to happen.
What?
Not the Lions game, the Tucker situation.
Oh, who cares? Honestly, who cares? He was going to be fired from the start.
Well,
great. They mailed him a letter.
Yeah, it basically said, hey, Mel, we've already changed the locks. So no matter what happens.
Translation. Anyone who wants to hit the portal can go. Clock starts now.
Well, that's sort of it to a certain degree. And also, do you think, and I kind of do, the embarrassing nature of the loss Saturday pushed them to do it even quicker? Don't you think?
No.
Like if they saw a team that fought and, maybe they are railing. Not that they would keep him. He was still going to be gone, but they didn't have to announce it right now.
No, he was never coming back.
No, I know. But the announcement wasn't expected today.
No, but I think it's just leading up to the fact that you're going to see some type of a settlement before the actual procedure takes place. So you're just trying to set the table of this is what is going to happen.
How about this being the settlement? Michigan State says, okay, Mel, here, give us the key card, and here are the directions out of town. That's all the settlement should be. And I know it won't be, but that should be it.
Well, it should be,
I
but
agree.
Because Michigan State can't do things right, he's going to be like, where's that little piece of paper that with a lot of zeros behind it? Then I'll leave the town, and then here's your key card.
Right.
I just frankly don't care. It's a weird place for me to be in. I just have nothing but hatred for him and basically everyone up there. So wake me up when they hire a coach. I'll let you know if I'm back.
The vitriol for Tucker at Tucker is real and should be real.
It's warranted.
It's major disappointment. Like, you let down everybody.
Everybody.
Especially because here's the thing. There were people who really believed in you, who really wanted you to succeed, who financially backed you.
Right.
And you stabbed them in the back.
And he let down everybody. And, Mike, you know this. One game, the 11-2 season. But there's nothing left behind now. He's not going to leave anything for anybody going forward. And if you think...
and his... whatever alleged program he built in the 3 + 4 years, whatever you want to call it, that he was there, was on display Saturday.
Right.
He was a grifter.
No,
Him
Mike,
and his coordinators are grifters.
Mike, you
don't
got
have
it
any
wrong.
Talent.
You got it
Why?
wrong. The program that he built was on display Sunday at Ford Field.
Oh, that's true. Good point. Wow. I wonder if he went to the game with the disguise on.
You didn't see the mustache
this is really
guy?
uplifting.
Yeah.
And the block engine hat?
Mike, you're going to have to pick it up here. You need the Lions to beat Atlanta to get yourself back up, right?
Well, Joe,
Yeah.
I don't know why
it was
he's
a lousy sports weekend, man.
Yeah.
Did you not see the comeback the Giants had? I don't know why he's down.
Terrible. Who cares?
Against a great Arizona team.
I mean, that's
right.
a
Against the
playoff
team
caliber
openly tanking. You're right. Hold on. As Wojo likes to say, we're getting a little turgid over here.
Put some respect on Josh Dobbs' name. Okay?
Yeah. That's unbelievable. Josh
Oh,
Dobbs. That is unbelievable. But
I
here's
hate
what you do. Start watching all the preseason hockey now. Don't follow football anymore the rest of the fall. Just don't do it.
Awesome. That sounds great, too. So what do you have coming up next? It has to be more uplifting than this.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, some of the Lions stuff, certainly. A little bit of the Tucker stuff, although it isn't new, but it is sort of breaking officially, sort of. Yeah, and then headed towards Lions review, which won't be quite as giddy as it was last week, I don't think.
No, because once again, they found a way to hurt us. Must win this weekend. Argue it.
No, yeah, I'll go with that. Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good man.
And they will, because of Up-Down Theory is back, baby.
Perfect. I'll
Yes.
take it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Woj Poo next. Lions review coming up after that. Rico, rat